Have you ever used like Premium Tech Tool for Volvo?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very complicated.
So you know, yeah.
This is a W900. It's
Okay.
one of the rarest KWs, a 2021.
I've built probably more than 30 different products, all fully custom and all fully like that never existed.
Because the OBM software has so many options, then confuses you on what you can do.
I had just a tug pulling at me, try to create products to help the masses across the whole industry. My name is Jason Chase, CEO and founder of OTR Performance. We started back in 2012 as an automotive diesel repair shop. So kind of started as a technician working at a Volvo truck dealership. So that's kind of how I got a lot of the experience. And then we went to I went to a few like independent shops working on just in general like all the trucks from doing transmission, clutches, EGRs, turbos, overheads, brakes, axles, everything. Kind of like I have a good run of the mill like technician experience. And back in like 2012, 2013, when we first started, I kind of saw the need that there's a lot of people that are facing the same issues. And I had just a tug pulling at me to try to create products that really help, not just help one truck driver or truck operator, but try to create products to help the masses across the whole industry. That's kind of how I got a little like experience developing custom products, and that's kind of transitioning from like 2012, 2013 all the way to where we're currently at 2023. I've built probably more than 30 different products, all fully custom and all fully like that never existed. So I've had my like fair share of like different products from launching them to definitely creating certain things. So we're just excited because from the standpoint of like someone that does YouTube videos and DIY repair videos, that was kind of one of the core things that when we started as like I started OTR Performance, like a lot of the first initial videos we've launched on YouTube were literally how to view fault codes on your truck, right? Like there's a lot of how-to videos that we started, and I like what I'm thinking I love to see is like you're continuing to move that initiative with like DIY repair and trying to get the information out there to the end user, because a lot of this information is really tied to the technician at the dealerships and no one's willing to share that information. So one thing that I just shout out to you is like keep that up, man. Like don't stop sharing that information because not a lot of people are willing to share it. So a lot of those critical pieces are really important. I think is really helping the industry grow and move forward. Just because like right now times are tough for a lot of people, and I think everyone's trying to save money any way they can, and they're trying to like replace their knock sensor, or they're trying to replace their DPF filter, or they're trying to do some of these things that are a little bit more advanced. And obviously having someone to walk them through troubleshooting, walking them through how to replace the video or replace certain components is super helpful. And I think it actually like one thing that I thought is when I had my diesel repair facility and also selling parts, I always thought if you were able to tell someone how to install it and tell someone how to repair things, it actually is going to make you the person they're going to want to come to. Even if you show them how to do it, you're going to get more people interested in like, hey, can you do that? Instead of me learning it, they're always going to want to like. I feel like it trusts you more. And I don't know if you notice, but like I see a lot of your comments are like, hey, what's your repair shop? Because I want to come see you and stuff like that. So like obviously like I feel like you have a good reputation, so definitely keep that up. I think for one of those things I want to talk to you about is I guess do you have any kind of feedback or anything you want to share based on what I just said?
Oh, I mean, I am absolutely agree with you. I mean, everything you say is basically what I will think or what I will say, and just the way you started, that's the same way I started. I mean, doing little videos here and there, starting my shop from the scratch and all that. I mean, I know the feeling, and um, I don't really want to quit quit on helping people with videos and stuff like that because I know the hardship, especially nowadays with these advanced mechanical vehicles. They are electronic, most likely. Like nowadays you don't see any mechanical operated engines anymore. They have computers all over the place. So that is the reason why you need extra help, extra information, and diagnostic tools. That is very important, and that's why you are very important on this place and in this point because you are providing that too.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So from your standpoint, you're a diesel technician, you have a diesel repair shop, you're in the thicket of the thicket in repairs. Like, can you give me an example or something that you could share about, using the OTR diagnostic platform that you've seen that would really help the end user?
Oh yes. I actually, to be honest, I was using the OTR diagnostic tool to diagnose this KW right here. This is a W900. It's one of the rarest KWs at 2021. Um, this truck was having issues with the DEF pressure. With the tool, I was able to see what was the DEF pressure and the rate of work of the pump. And to that's the way I found. Then we had a problem with the filter right here. I actually have it right here. This little filter
Okay.
right here.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
it's a filter that goes inside the DF tank. But anyway, with the tool, I was able to notice, and there was a loss of pressure because of the filter was completely restricted because of the dirt and capture. But overall, I would say that the tool makes it so easy now, especially this newer version of the tool. Um, it guides you on what you can do. It gives you all the information without even going like searching for it. So you have the fault codes at the beginning on the home screen, and do a region, reset fault, and how many times this fault has been in this truck. That's very important because sometimes you wanna see like in my case, right? If I send this truck right for a trip, I delete the codes and the truck comes back. I want to be able to see if the fault code was active before, and it is now. So I will see then, oh yeah, you know what? I didn't prepare the fault, or something else is happening with this truck, then I didn't pay attention based on that. So that's something then I really like.
Doing this new update of OTR diagnostics, and it's been on the Android side, how much of an improvement was it compared to the old version, would you say?
Oh yeah, it's a big improvement, and not just
Okay.
because the app is better. It is simply because it simplifies the use of it. So you don't, as I say, you don't have to work hard to know what you can do. Most of the
Right.
functions of this app are going to be on the home screen, and all you have to do is click at it. You don't have to look for them. You don't have to read the manual. You don't have to do anything. All you have to do is just like go to the home screen, after you are connected to the vehicle, and then you want to be able to perform all these functions. And there is no special process. All you do is click and and press OK, and that's it. The function is going to be completed.
Awesome. Yeah, yeah, definitely. I mean, that's like how we designed it. We designed it so it's like it brings like have you ever used like Premium Tech Tool for Volvo?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very complicated.
So yeah. So okay. So you have to understand, like when I'm like I'm very like into the Volvo network. I spent a lot of time working on the Volvo truck side of things. So like Volvo's a little bit more. I'm more experienced on the Volvo side, but like I've dealt with Davey. I have Cummins Insight, the Detroit Diagnostic Link. I mean, we're talking about all the diagnostic tools like at the OEM level. Like I've obviously have used it, and we continue to currently use it for a lot of our testing and stuff like that. So from doing like someone might say, I'm looking for my fleet. I'm looking to buy a diagnostic tool. Why would I choose OTR Diagnostics rather than just buy the OEM software? Like, what would you say in that regard if someone said that to you?
Well, I would say then if you are not a technician, then specializes on diagnostic a truck, I will not recommend to buy the OEM software because the OEM software has so many options then confuses you on what you can do. And many
Mhm.
of these specific features of the OEM diagnostic tools are not easy to use in a way then they are going to guide you step by step how to do something. So
Right.
most likely you are going to follow a protocol on how to do something, and if you don't do it right, it won't explain you why you are not doing it right. So it takes a little more than just knowing to use the computer to use an OEM
Yep.
diagnostic tool. But when it comes to OTR performance diagnostic, it's a little different because you get the guidance on how to use the tool. I mean, if for
Right.
any reason you don't know how to use the tool, I mean, for any reason you have problems using smartphones or things like that, they can always contact you and ask you, hey, you know what, I have this problem, I have this, I have that, can you help me with that? Okay, you'll be like, okay,
Right.
yes, let's figure
Definitely.
out the problem and everything, right? Yes,
Oh
and
yeah.
but if you know how to use a smartphone, it's going to be super easy to use these tools because, as I said before, this tool on the home screen has all the features. You don't have to look for them. All you have to do is just like click and you're done. That's pretty much
Definitely.
it. You know, like that simplifies everything. For me, it's like I would say, right? If I really want to go diagnose a truck very deeply, like going to fix a problem that nobody could fix.
Hmm.
And of course, right, I will use the OEM diagnostic tool because that's a very advanced problem. But if I'm going to fix a regen problem, or the regeneration is not happening, let me see the temperatures. Oh, what kind of fault code? We have a low coolant, we have a low oil pressure, we
Right.
have problems with the ash accumulator is high. We're gonna reset that. If we want any quick solutions and without spending a lot of time, OTR performance is the best solution for that problem. I spend like 5 minutes the most, and sometimes I spend like 30 seconds. I spend more time connecting to the truck sometimes than doing the actual function.
Yep. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome. I
that's the
mean,
reason why I like it. You know. Mhm.
yeah, and out of every diagnostic tool that you've tried, and I don't know how many diagnostic tools you have. I mean, can you give me an example of how many diagnostic tools you currently have in your shop that you guys operate?
Uh, Well, I have OTR performance diagnostic tool. I
Okay.
have the DL software, Insight software, Volvo software, Packard software, and I have like in total like three computers with different softwares.
Different stuff.
One with the
Okay.
most newest, or with the oldest, depending on the type of truck I'm seeing. That's where I'm gonna use the laptop. But see, I will say then this is the curious part of that because if I am looking to work on an older truck, I need to use a different computer because the
Hmm.
software is not the right for that one. And if I want to work in a newer truck, I need to use a different software. And that's one thing that I really like about OTR diagnostic because I can use the same app and I don't have to change the app. I don't have to change the adapter. It's just one adapter and one app and one subscription, and I can do all that. It is interesting. I mean, like I like that. Of course, right? If you are a very advanced repair shop, you have to have more than one diagnostic tool. In any case, you
Definitely.
have more than a basic problem, right? But it's always
Definitely.
good to have OTR performance diagnostic. I'll say then that this is very very handy. You know.
Have you seen? I mean, I'm just curious of asking you. This is more like a technical in the weeds question, but like, have you seen like some function of OTR diagnostics that it worked where the OEM software didn't work, or like where there was just a time where like OTR diagnostics like came above the OEM diagnostic software? I'm just curious of asking you that question. Um, See if there's any, was there an opportunity
Mm,
where OTR shined where OEM diagnostic didn't?
well, I had this occasion. It was on a 2009 DD15 on a Columbia style body. I was using the OEM diagnostic tool, and it wasn't clearing the cuts for some reason. It wasn't clearing the cuts, and I tried many times. I disconnect the plug, the interface. I turned off the computer and everything, and it didn't work. So I decided to use OTR diagnostic, and it did clear the codes with no problems. Like, yes, it did clear the codes. So I was like, yeah, I'm kind of curious too. I mean, like how that happened. I mean, like so it's like the diagnostic tool was able to do something that the actual OEM software didn't do. And yes, there was another occasion too. Then happened with 2016. Then I couldn't reset the DPF accumulation, the mileage interval, and I couldn't reset it. It went back to the same for some reason. I don't know what happened to that, and I used the OTR diagnostic tool, and it did. Within 30 seconds, it went back to zero, and the checking light was off. Yes, it's like two occasions so far. Then I can say then the OTR diagnostic tool shine up better than the OEM.
Yeah, and I think that's a big, like, one of the big things that I would say that a lot of people don't understand is that sometimes, like, the OEM diagnostic software, like, it has sometimes some bugs where you got not only just got a software, but you also have like the VCI, the adapter that connects between the truck and the laptop, and then not only do you have software problems, you could have VCI problems, you can have adapter problems, and that's where, like, some of these things could happen where, yeah, the software says it did it, but reality is it didn't work. And that's,
Yes, exactly.
so that's where, yeah, thank you for mentioning that, because there's a lot of times where the OEM software, like, a lot of misconceptions are that, like, OEM software is like the end all be all, but that's not necessarily 100% true, because aftermarket softwares could eliminate a lot of these type of edge case issues where the OEM software doesn't work, but an aftermarket software does work. So that's where sometimes the aftermarket side shines because the bugs aren't in the software, right, compared to the OEM software.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yes,
cool.
exactly.
Nice. That's awesome to hear. I mean, do you have any, like, specific questions for me that you're interested to find out?
Well, my question will be, do you have any future projects for the OTR diagnostic tool? Anything in the future or something that you would like to mention, like to be excited about?
Yeah, that's a fun one. I mean, there's, this is the problem with me. Like, I have too many ideas that we can't execute on because we have so many ideas and so many new cool things that I would love to do. What I think for OTR diagnostics is that, we do want to give the capability to be able to, like, change your road speed, change your cruise speed, and adjust your idle. I think that's, like, one of the biggest, one of the biggest initiatives that we're planning to do and release here, that we're working on. So we have, like, all the engineering is done in-house. So we have a team here, in-house. We have engineers, embedded engineers, software engineers. Like, all the stuff that we're doing inside the app is all built by us. And we're building this all here at our facility here in Michigan. So we have, like, the best engineers working on this, and we're trying to deliver some more enhancements to the tool to be able to do some of these things that you can't currently do. That's going to really give the person the ability to do some of these things that only, like, a more advanced tool would give them capability for. So that was, like, one of the biggest features that we're planning to do. And one thing that I'm kind of going to be saying this right now is kind of we're looking into enhancing also the fault code information. So that's something that we're actively looking on and pursuing to be able to give you more insights from the fault code and how the fault code got there. So, like, my role as far as, like, where the product is going, like, I want to build the best product for you to be able to diagnose your truck and be able to do it quickly and also do it with the right information. So, like, if you were to use OTR diagnostics and use an OEM software, they always match 1-to-1. So if you're looking at the fault code, for instance, like, if you're looking at Detroit Diesel, DDDL software, it matches exactly what OTR diagnostics is doing. And the same thing goes if you're connected to a PACCAR, the same P codes matches the same P codes as Davey would share, and the same thing goes with Volvo. Like, so we're eliminating that misconception that, like, we're dealing with different fault code types and stuff like that. So, like, as I want to empower the person who has OTR diagnostics to be able not only to do their own repair, but be able to do it with good information that sometimes is more than what even the dealer has access to.
Yes, that sounds good. I really like all you say right now. I really like the idea on being able to mess with some parameters that will really uh, mean something from to many owner operators and mechanics as me. And about the fault code information, I would say then you guys are doing well enough. I mean, you are good. If you wanna do it better, that would be great. But because I've been doing diagnostic with the OTR, and I see then you not just give you don't give me the description of the fault, but you also give me the possible causes, and that is something that not even the OEM diagnostic tools give you. Sometimes you have to buy a different type of application for that, and that is extra cost to get possible causes, descriptions, and all that. And I like that you guys incorporate that within the full description, because you don't have to actually check for other like other information within the app. Everything is just in one screen. All you have to do is just follow the information, and probably that will solve the problem, depending on how bad your problem is. And you know, and I really like that it doesn't only work with engine; it also works with ABS, with transmissions, and all that. Because the other day I was having problems with a Packard with a ABS problem, and you guys have the description of, oh yeah, the sensor left on the front axle, so the problem could be a shorted wire, a broken wire. Check the distance between the gap between the actual spindle and the and the sensor and all that. And I was like, yeah, that's pretty handy. I mean, like, I don't have to look for anything else. I don't have to Google it. All I have to do is just use the OTR diagnostic tool.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And that's kind of why, like, yeah, no, that's awesome. No, thank you for sharing that. And that's why, like, the new update for Android, it's going to just give everyone, so like both the Android and the iOS platform are both the exact same with this new version. And what it's going to allow us to do is consistently allow us to update and improve the product, because we want to consistently like take advantage of, as these phones get better, we're gonna do more in the app. And being on the new version of the OTR diagnostic tool, it's gonna give us the speed to be able to keep building a better product. So the new version is really faster, it's simpler, it's gonna guide you in case you're having a problem, and it's also gonna give you some more insights as far as like, like some of those things of like, oh, how long has your truck ever regen for? How many commands and how many fault codes have been logged into the OTR database, because everything is logged when you send a command, every time you connect to a truck. These are some of the insights that you're going to start to see here more, is that like as you connect to more and more vehicles, or as you get more and more fault codes logged, you're able to like use the search bar in the history to be able to get all the fault codes that were stored in the system, to be able to do better diagnostics, as well as to see again, hey, did that fault code ever come back, or does that just happen that one time and we fixed it and that fault code never came back again? So there's like a lot of improvements going into the version 2.0 on Android, and I'm really excited to hear, like, as you're starting to play around with it, like, what's your like, what are you planning to use it more on now that you kind of moved into the new version? Do you have any like insights as far as like how you're going to plan on using it?
Well, I mean, I would say then I'll use it for many different reasons or many different trucks. I can use it just simply to see a chicken light, to do a region, or if I really want to diagnose a truck. Like for example, I'll say this. Um, I usually go and do road calls to friends, people that I know, and I always take I always take my computer, my regular computer, but I also take the OTR diagnostic tool, because sometimes I don't need the computer. All I need is the diagnostic tool, and it can help me over the road as well. And beauty of everything is like I don't have to wait the longer period of time of loading of the computer getting ready to start the program. Yes, I just click on it and that's it. We're connected. And sometimes I do that because I don't want to wait too long, sometimes, and I just gonna go straight on to know what I have to do, connect the app, and we're ready.
Yeah, no, thank you. I mean, that's like the best thing, especially when it comes to like getting a tool that is, what the biggest thing for you as a technician and as doing a road service is like time. You don't want to be sitting on the side of the road and waiting for an update to go on your computer, or the huge startup time it takes for OEM software. So that's awesome to hear that like you're able to use OTR diagnostics to like save time doing a road service in your shop, to be able to do a regen on a truck that hey, this truck just needs a regen and that's all it needs, and you're not taking up your valuable laptop to be able to do some of these type of functions. So that's definitely excited, and I'm super happy to hear you using it and finding that value. I kind of just want to kind of wanted to wrap this up as far as that goes, and wanted to kind of see if there's anything like any last minute thoughts on like where you're excited about OTR diagnostics, and how this could help someone like an owner operator, is like final remarks in regards to this. Like, why would you recommend this to your customers as a final like closing comment to say?
Yes. Well, I would say then I would recommend OTR diagnostic tool if you are looking to be able to diagnose your truck anywhere you are. And it is important to know that also OTR diagnostic tool works offline, which means that you don't have to be connected to the internet, because in some areas of the states, there is no signal at all. There is areas and you are driving and you don't get internet. So if your truck breaks down in the middle of that, with the offline option of OTR diagnostic tool, you are able to diagnose your truck. At least you're gonna be able to know the problem in case you don't have, because sometimes happens and we don't have the proper tools. We may know what's the problem with the truck, but we don't have the tools. I mean, like, but at least we know. We can call the road service and say, you know what, this is happening to my truck. Can you come bring coolant? Can you bring me a coolant sensor because it's broken or something like that? So you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait until he comes, or the road service or whoever comes to help you, and they're gonna go back and they're gonna charge you for those miles going back and going forward just to get you that sensor or that specific item that you needed to be able to continue your road. With the OTR diagnostic tool, you save that time and that money, most importantly, and it can be used anywhere as long as you have a smartphone and you have the OTR diagnostic device to connect to the OBD port of the truck.
Thank you, Francisco. Thank you not only for your time, but thanks for just kind of sharing some like real life examples of OTR diagnostics, and also like, the final comments, like, taking care of someone who's stuck on the side of the road. I think is just like so important, because that's such a common thing right now with these after treatment systems. They cause the check engine light to come on, they cause the DPF warning lights to come on, they cause the stop lights to come on, then you're kind of stuck without a lot of information to figure out, okay, like, what do I do? Do I deliver this load? Do I take it to the nearest truck stop? Or do I sit on the side of the road and try to run a regen? And it's in those moments that I think your stress level, everything just, you start boiling inside because you don't know what to do. And that's why I think like that's where, having a tool just gives you that comfort to be like, oh, I have OTR diagnostics. I can actually do something about this instead of being stuck in the unknown. So thanks for sharing that. We appreciate you coming, and sharing your inputs and your thoughts on this.
Sure. Anytime.
Awesome.
Anytime.
Well, I'm gonna kind of wrap this up, and thank you for everything. I appreciate it, and hopefully we get to meet up soon in California or somewhere else. Thanks, Francisco. I appreciate it.